All right, so welcome. This is where we left off last time. Now, if you'll notice, we have our grid that's filled with random pieces. However, we can't move any of them, and they're generating with matches already on the board. So let's fix the matches on the board problem first, because that's going to kind of give us a key into how our logic's going to work. And then we'll work on getting the pieces to move around. So back in our game window script here, I'm in the game window scene. Grid has a script attached to it, and you can just click on that script to open it. And then I'm in distraction-free mode here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another little helper function here. It's going to check to see if when I spawn a piece, so I'm going to choose a piece, and then before I do anything, I'm going to check to see if that piece would create a match with what's already on the board. And if it would, I'm going to randomly choose another number. And I'm going to keep doing that until it doesn't spawn a match, and then I'm going to move on to the next piece. So let's talk a little bit about the basic logic behind finding matches in a match 3 game here. And for that, I'm going to go to the document camera. All right, so here we are with the drawing that we made to get us all started out. Now, what I want to talk about is how the pieces are generated. So I kind of brushed this, or went through this pretty quickly last time. So when the pieces get started, they get started right here at column 0, row 0. And it runs through the columns, or sorry, the rows first, because that's the second for loop. So we're going to start on column 0, and then we're going to run from 0 to however many rows we needed. So that means it'll create this piece first, this piece second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then once all of those are created, then it moves to the next column, and it'll create these pieces, which means that it's creating pieces left to right, bottom to top. And so when we're checking to see if there's a match, we need to take that into account. For example, if we've created pieces all the way up to, say, here, then we need to not look to the right or up for matches, because those pieces haven't been decided yet. Instead, we need to be looking down and to the left. Now, in some situations, we won't be able to look left, like say this piece right here. Here, we're able to look down. And on this piece, we're able to look neither down nor left, because there isn't enough pieces to have made a match created yet. So we're going to have to take into account that in some places, like here, we can look down but not left. In some places, we can look, say here, left but not down, and in others we can do both. So we're going to cover that right now, and that's kind of the main idea for how we're going to look at our logic, is the piece is going to look in a specific direction and keep counting until it finds enough to make a match. So, knowing that, let's jump back to the game itself. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another little helper function here. I'm going to create it after spawn pieces. It doesn't matter where it goes. I'm going to call this function, we'll call this match at. That's pretty descriptive. And we need to pass in a couple arguments here. We need to tell it the column and the row that we're looking for a match at. So what this is going to do is exactly what I said. It's going to check to see what the column and row are. And based on the column and row, it's either going to look left, down, or both. And if there is a match, then it's going to return true. And if this gets a true response back from it, it's going to choose another random number and check again. It's going to keep doing that until it gets a false response. So from here, what I want to do is I want to say if column is greater than 1, meaning if we're at least the third column and have space to go to left, then what we want to do is we, oh, hey, I forgot to do something. So let's fix that really quickly here. So the whole reason that we're going to be able to know where things are is we're going to use this 2D array that we made, and we're going to be storing those pieces in the 2D array after they get created. So back here in my spawn pieces method, at the very, very end, I'm going to say all pieces, and I'm going to grab the I on X and the J on Y position and set it equal to piece. And this is essentially saying that this spot in this two-dimensional array is that piece on the board. And we're going to use the fact that we told each piece what its color is to know if we have a match. So in this match at, I'm going to say if I is greater than 1, then I'm going to look at the pieces that are to the left. So first I'm going to make sure that those pieces exist. So if all pieces ij, actually, it's I minus 1, sorry, j, is not equal to null, meaning if it's an actual object in the scene, and all pieces I minus 2, j, is not equal to null, then, so those pieces exist. Now I'm going to check their colors. So if, actually, before we do this, let's store a variable. So up here at the, well, yeah, sorry. We're going to pass in a third argument here. So our third argument is going to be color. And this is going to just save us some time. So we're going to say if all pieces I minus 1 j dot color is equal to color, and all pieces I minus 2 j dot color is equal to color. So if their colors match our first piece, then we're going to return true, meaning that there is a match there if we go to the left. Now we need to also check down. So we're going to say if j is greater than 1, and then we can pretty much just copy and paste these 3 lines here, but we're going to need to change what's being subtracted to j. So I'm going to paste those down there. I'm going to change this from I minus 1j to I and then j minus 1. And this from being I minus 2j to being I and then j minus 2. And this from being I minus 1 j to I j minus 1. I minus 2j to I j minus 2. Okay, cool. So this is going to check to the left, and this is going to check down. So what we want to do is up here, after we've chosen our random number, we're going to, before we create the instance of it, we're going to check to see if that would cause a match. So to do that, I'm going to use something called a while loop. A while loop is something that goes through the loop again and again and again until the condition is met. And then once the condition is met, it goes out of the loop. Whenever you're dealing with a loop like this, unlike a for loop, you could have a situation where, well, I guess you can in a for loop, but it's more likely in a while loop that you'll have a situation where you have an infinite loop, where the condition to exit the loop is never met. So a lot of times it can be good to add a flagging variable that just kind of makes sure that you only go through that loop a few set number of times. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to call this variable loops. I'm going to set it equal to 0. And then I'm going to say while match at, and I need to pass a column, which is I, a row, which is j, and a color. And the color is going to be possible pieces rand dot color. So while there's a match there, and loops is less than, say, 100, we're only going to loop through this at most 100 times. Then what we're going to do is we're going to choose the color again. So we're going to say rand is equal to floor rand range 0 possible pieces dot size, and then we're going to increase the loops. So loops plus equals 1. And we'll just keep doing that until we have a situation where we don't have a match there. So I'm going to save my script. I'm going to hit play, and let's see how this works. Oh. And it looks like I have an error here somewhere. Not found I. Oh, okay. Haha. It's my problem. All right. So, oh, wow. Okay, I've got a lot of problems here. So I'm going to, oh no, I guess I don't. All right, I just have 1. So the problem that I have here is I'm passing in column, row, and color, and then I'm referring to it as I here. So instead of passing in column, I'm going to pass in I, and instead of passing in row, I'm going to pass in J. So there we go. I'll save that. Let's hit play. And I think I have another error here. Let's see what I did. Can't index color on base packed scene. Oh, I see. So here's the error. All right. So I'm just going to take this. What do I want to do? So I'm going to take this part. The reason that I'm having that error is because the variable color doesn't exist on a just a path to a scene. So like this isn't the scene itself. This is a reference to the scene. And that reference itself doesn't have a color. So what I have to do here is I have to instantiate it first and then run this whole while match at. So I'm going to grab this line right there. I'm going to cut it out by doing Command X or Control X. And I'm going to paste it right after I decide the color. And then when I'm going through, I'm going to say rand equals that, loops equals that, and then I'm going to say piece is equal to possible pieces rand dot instance. Yep, and that should be okay. Let's try that. Possible I made another error here. Look at that, I did. All right. Oh, okay. So here's the issue. So instead of sending it to be, when I'm checking for the match, it doesn't need to be possible pieces rand.color. Instead, it should just be piece.color. All right. All kinds of errors today. There we go. So now we have our board. It's created without a match on it. And let's try it one more time. Or maybe 2 more times, how about? So no match here. Yep, no match. And again. No match. And again. No match. All right, cool. So this is us just kind of getting started. Next, we're going to take a look at how we can move the pieces around. We're going to be using mouse clicks, but the way Godot works, the mouse click pretty much emulates a touch. So this would be something that you would be able to use on touch screens. Yeah, so if you enjoyed what you saw, feel free to give me a like if you learned anything new. Otherwise, please feel free to ask me any questions in the description down below. You can follow me on Twitter to find out when I post a new video. You can join the Discord where I'm chatting pretty much every day. And otherwise, I hope you're having yourselves a wonderful day.